wait a second, because the wrong winter boot can turn a simple walk to the mailbox into a slippery little horror movie. So let's fix that today. In this video, I'm counting down 6 winter boots for elderly ladies, and I'm not doing the usual everything is amazing routine. I'll be a bit tougher on the first 2 because, well, someone has to say it out loud. Then we'll climb toward the boots that actually made me go, okay, yep, this is the one I'd buy for my mom. Let's get into it. 6. SHIBEVER Women's Winter Snow Boots. These are one of those boots that look promising on the screen. They usually show a warm faux fur lining, a waterproof upper, and a grippy sole. And you're thinking, all right, this might be a steal. And honestly, it kinda is, depending on what you need. The best thing about the SHIBEVER style is the cozy factor. When I wore them for quick errands and short walks, that faux fur lining did its job. Your toes don't feel that sharp, cold bite the moment you step outside, and that matters a lot for seniors who tend to get cold faster. I also like that many versions use a zipper, which is a big deal when bending down to tie laces is annoying or painful. Some SHIBEVER listings highlight a zipper closure and anti-slip rubber sole, and that matches the general design vibe you'll see across their winter boot line. Now, traction. Here's where I'm cautious. The outsole has tread, sure, and for dry snow or a lightly salted sidewalk, it felt okay. But on that glossy, sneaky ice, I wouldn't call it confidence-inspiring. Like, you know that feeling where your brain is walking normally, but your feet are like, we might slide. Yeah, that. If your area gets real ice, this boot needs careful walking, maybe even ice cleats on top. Fit-wise, I found it a little inconsistent. It's comfortable out of the box, but the padding can make it feel snug if you wear thick winter socks. Number 5. EARLDE Women's Snow Boots Waterproof. And let me say this first, I like what they're trying to do. This is one of those boots that looks more serious, like, yes, I'm here for winter. The brand emphasizes waterproof materials, a durable rubber sole, and full fur lining that goes down inside the boot, not just at the top. When I put these on, the warmth was immediate. That full fur lining is no joke, and for seniors who hate cold feet, it's honestly a comfort. I wore them on a cold morning walk where the wind was being rude, and my feet stayed warm the whole time. The tread is also better than what I felt on the SHIBEVER. Not miracle level, but better bite into packed snow. Here's the thing though. Lace-up boots can be a mixed blessing for elderly users. Yes, they let you adjust the fit, which is great for wide feet, thick socks, or swelling, but the trade-off is the daily hassle. Even if you can slip them on without fully unlacing, it still feels like more work than a zipper or slip-on design. And for someone with arthritis in the hands, laces can be a deal breaker. The other little issue is bulk. These are not subtle boots. They feel heavier, and that can tire out legs faster if someone is doing longer walks. Elderly users often do better with boots that are supportive but not clunky, because dragging extra weight on your feet can mess with balance. Number 4. HARENCE Women's Winter Boots. This is where things start getting more comfortable in a daily life kind of way. HARENCE boots are usually built like a practical ankle or mid boot with warm lining and a chunky sole. When I wore them, the first thing I noticed was how easy they were to live in, like you throw them on and you're not fighting the boot. Warmth was solid, not standing on a glacier warm, but definitely I can do errands and not hate my life warm. The interior has that soft lining feel, and for elderly ladies, comfort is not a luxury, it's the whole point. What I liked most was the stability feel. The sole is thick and gives you that planted sensation. And because the boot isn't crazy tall, it doesn't fight your ankle when you step. That matters if someone has weaker ankles or uses a cane. A boot can be warm and still be a problem if it makes the ankle feel trapped or wobbly. Now, traction was pretty good on snow and okay on slick surfaces, but I still wouldn't call any of these budget-style boots ice-proof. For true ice conditions, you want either a known high-traction compound or you add removable cleats. That's just reality. Overall, HARENCE lands here because it feels like a practical middle ground, warmer and steadier than the first two without being overly heavy or complicated. It's not the fanciest, but it's a solid everyday winter boot option. 3. TEMOFON snow boots for women. This one surprised me a bit because it leans into that easy winter boot category while still looking like it can handle messy conditions. Some TEMOFON listings even note a waterproof exterior that repels water and snow, though typically with the usual limitation that you shouldn't treat them like deep water rain boots. When I tested them in slushy parking lots and wet snow along sidewalks, my feet stayed dry. And that's huge because cold is uncomfortable, but wet cold? Wet cold is personal. Wet cold ruins your entire mood. The comfort level also felt friendly for older feet. The interior is warm and the footbed felt forgiving enough that I didn't feel pressure points right away. That matters because elderly ladies often have sensitive spots, bunions, or just feet that get tired faster. TEMOFON felt like it was trying to be soft instead of stiff. Traction was pretty decent. Not mountaineering level, but better than I expected for the price range these boots usually sit in. I walked over compacted snow and felt more stable than I did in the SHIBEVER. The outsole design is clearly meant to grip, and while you should still be careful on real ice, this one made me feel less tense. The reason it's number 3 is simple. It's one of the better value picks that balances warmth, dryness, and comfort without making you wrestle the boot. For an elderly lady who wants something practical for daily winter life, this is a strong contender. 2. Sorel Women's Joan of Arctic. Now we're stepping into real winter boot territory. This boot is famous for a reason. It's built with seam-sealed waterproof construction, a rubber shell, and a removable felt inner boot. REI notes the seam-sealed waterproof design and the removable washable felt inner boot, and that's a big part of why these handle snow so well. When I wore these, the protection felt immediate. You get that higher shaft coverage so snow doesn't just sneak in around your ankles. And the rubber lower is fantastic for slush because it's not soaking up moisture the way some fabric uppers can. The felt liner makes the inside feel warm and insulated, and it's also nice that it's removable because you can dry it properly after a wet day. Traction is good. Not magic, but good. The outsole grips better than most fashion winter boots, and overall, the boot feels stable and sturdy. If you're buying for an elderly lady who needs confidence underfoot, this is the kind of boot where you can feel the difference in build quality when you walk. Now, small warning, this boot can be a little harder to get on and off. It's supportive and structured, which is great for stability, but that structure also means less slip on and go. Some reviewers also mention it can run a bit large and can be tricky to put on and take off, which matches the vibe of a more serious boot. Skechers Women's On-the-Go Joy Lush. And yes, I'm picking a Skechers winter boot as the top option for elderly ladies, because here's what matters: comfort plus lightness plus easy daily wear. This boot is built around Skechers Comfort Tech. The brand highlights responsive 5-gen midsole cushioning and the air-cooled Goga Matte insole, which is basically that soft, supportive walking shoe feeling, but in a winter-friendly boot shape. And when I wore these around town, that comfort was the headline. My feet didn't feel beat up after walking, no hot spots. No, I need to sit down foot fatigue. Another thing I appreciate is the weight. These feel noticeably lighter than many snow boots. For elderly users, that's not a small detail. Heavy boots can mess with gait, trip timing, and overall balance. A lighter boot helps the person move naturally, which can actually make them safer. The upper is typically suede and treated to help repel water and stains, and Skechers even mentions treatment like 3M Scotch Guard on some on-the-go Joy versions. Now, is it the same as a hardcore waterproof membrane? No, but for most everyday winter conditions like cold, dry days, light snow, and quick errands, it's enough, and it keeps the boot flexible and comfortable. Traction is solid for daily use. Again, nothing is invincible on ice, but the outsole felt stable enough that I trust it for normal winter walking, especially if the sidewalks are maintained. Final thought. That's all for today, folks.